Yeah, the headline of the Minnesota UFOs kind of caught my eye. Um, with the supersonic, I believe was the headline.
Yep, hypersonic.
Um,
Yep.
and then I saw the actual clip of it. And are you guys familiar with the Chris Bledsoe experience?
This name has come up. People keep sending me this name, and I have yet to look into it. Please tell me more about this.
Okay, so Chris, I mean, you guys, where you are. Again, I'm in the near west burbs of Chicago. I had the UFO sighting, demonic attacks. Um, Last thing I didn't tell you about my family on both sides, both adopted and blood, have had angelic experiences as well.
Okay, awesome.
Um, so Chris Bledsoe, I believe, lives in North Carolina, which, from what I understand, is not too far from West Virginia.
Okay.
And he was had abducted is a hard word to describe it, but he had an experience, and in that he was sort of abducted, kind of closer to the Book of Job, or no, not Book of Job. What am I talking about? Book of Enoch.
Okay.
And so, if you look at Book of Enoch and you take yourself, you step back, and it kind of feels like an alien abduction story. So again, this kind of feels like it, but it's not a traditional UFO. They shove stuff up my pooper type thing. And so he was, he saw big glowing orbs that changed color. It looked like the sun at one point on the horizon, and then it like zoomed up next to him. His son, Ryan Bledsoe, has an amazing podcast. You can watch on YouTube or whatever, and you can see the interviews with him.
Okay.
Chris Bledsoe has an amazing story, and it isn't your standard. He has a book called The UFO of God, and he was having a rough time. Had like Crohn's disease or irritable bowel syndrome. Sorry, I'm like 4 beers deep here, and he equivocates his UFO abduction experience to being more of an angelic experience.
Okay.
And that video that you guys are showing from the Minnesota thing looks exactly like that. Now, I remember watching the NASA UFO tether experiment and seeing all these, orbs of light in the blackness of space. And they release a a tensile strip of fabric into space, and it sort of like rubber bands out, because it has no gravity out there.
Okay.
And there are all these lights out there, and then they disappear as the piece of fabric, bunches and expands in space, and these points of light disappear and then reappear, as in reacting. Now, NASA themselves, they say it's bacteria on the lens, but it's just like, well, why are they disappearing and then reappearing? Whatever.
That's interesting.
Focusing garbage stuff. And I remember I was on. This is back before I was banned from Twitter. Back when it was Twitter. I've been banned from everywhere. It's great. It's a wonderful experience. I think everyone should experience it. And I was telling like the other UFO guys, just like, guys, those are not UFOs right there. Like in the traditional sense of flying saucers. I'm like, those are legit biblical descriptions of angels. Angels are balls of light, and then they come out of those balls of light as, human-like entities. And that's what I believe in that Minnesota video. That is exactly how they operate. They shift through a cycling rainbow spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, the rainbow was a gift from God
Yep.
after Noah.
Covenant. Yep.
And then, if you want to say Lucifer took that and stole it and bastardized that. And then
Clearly.
that's where we get the rainbow flag from. But, and then Shane, you also suggested, or you mentioned that you saw a UFO doing a sign of the cross. Is that correct?
Yeah, dude, that's the best way I could describe it. And it happened in the backyard of a house where I would have some very intense conversations about Christianity before I got baptized. Before I was even considering it, I was thinking about it a little bit, going to church actually, but not being baptized. And yeah, I saw that the first time I ever stepped foot on this farm in Georgia, in the backyard, in the distance, above the tree line. I saw a like bright glowing sphere doing the sign of the cross. That's the only way I can describe it. It was up, down, left, and right, over and over and over again.
I just got full body shivers when you mentioned that. That is beautiful. That is amazing.
It's funny. I never really put that together with my warming to Christianity back then. This is a few years ago, like 3 or 4 years ago, and that sign. But that's how I've always described it, even before I had faith at all. So yeah, that is interesting.
Dude, I believe that was a sign specifically for you. You just didn't recognize it at the time.
Might be. It was a very impactful experience for me. I spent a lot of time in that town, and this is just a funny aside and weird things. I also, while I was visiting that area, I went to the Georgia Guidestones like right before they blew up.
Did you blow them up?
No.
Was that you?
No, I really didn't. But I felt like I did in some weird way. It was so bizarre. When I went there, I happened to be there right as the guy who's hired to clean them was there with like a power washer. He's there like maybe once a week, and he's telling about all the human animal sacrifices people try to do there, cutting like heads off like certain animals and scattering animal bones around it, and people pouring blood on them. And I even thought then that those things were just evil. There's something really weird about them, and they're like a tourist trap as well. So people are there taking selfies with it. But yeah, I went home. I was writing my book about all that, and as I was writing it, they exploded. And I don't know. I think someone took them out. Other people think lightning did it. I talked to one lady who said,
"As
God
I lay
did it."
writing, is that what that was?
That's awesome. I like that.
That'll joke.
Well,
That'll joke.
Yeah, I mean that just makes your shirt 10 times more awesome right now. So
Oh, sweet. Yeah. So don't even bring it up again, because everyone's going to say it says defend.
All I can see from over here is
defund.
Satanism. Every time you lift it
Defund.
up, it covers the defund, and it just says Satanism. Satanism.
Defund, not
Satanism.
defend. Damn it.
Podcasters for Satanism.
No.
but yeah, that was one of my main things is now I just got Jack Black in my head yelling, "Hell Satan."
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I would definitely suggest looking into the Chris Bledsoe experience.
Yeah. I will.
If possible, since he's so close, I would love to see him and his son on Timcast. I know they've been doing the rounds
Okay.
on all the stuff.
Cool.
He has not yet been on Joe Rogan, but Duncan Trussell has repeatedly talked about him.
Okay.
And
Cool.
I do know that recently, because I missed the cutoff. I was going. I met some fellow like-minded goofball like myself, and he was going up to Minnesota or Michigan to join Chris Bledsoe in a UFO lighting experience.
Okay.
That doesn't sound right, but basically, he mentally asks the phenomena to show themselves during these big gatherings, and he sort of feels this internal message saying like, "Okay, we will do that." You know, some people might say it's false prophet or whatever. I do not
Oh.
believe that.
Wait, was he in DC recently at the UFO hearing? Do you know this?
Probably.
I think we did
What was
pull
the
up
other guy?
for Chris
He's got, like-
Bledsoe. Hold on. I feel like I'm derailing. Lucky that's that's what I do. But you just as you're talking, you just with that last story reminded me of this video we pulled up about a guy saying he was kind of like mentally attached to UFOs that were at DC.
Now there's like three guys. There's one guy, he's got like supersized like electroshock therapy eyes. I forget his name.
No, I got it. This
You
is
know.
it. Look at this. In News Nation, just 4 weeks ago, did Chris Bledsoe summon a UAP in Washington, D.C.?
Oh, dude, yes, that must be it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We pulled up a portion of that clip a month ago. So that's the extent of what I know. But I will definitely get more into this guy's story. I just followed him on Twitter as well, so I'll be reminded. Thanks for that.
So one thing's with now that you guys have like possibly Pentagon access
Oh, we'll
is
see.
yeah, right. So one of which his son, who has a podcast, Ryan Bledsoe. The podcast is called Bledsoe Said So. And then there's this guy attached to it called Tim Taylor. And
He's not a tool man, is he?
no, right?
All right. Just making sure.
No, there's a author, but an investigative reporter. Her name is Diana Pasulka. She wrote American Cosmic, and she refers to him in the book as Tyler Durden. He reminds her very much of Tyler Durden from Fight Club.
Okay.
But his real name is Tim Taylor. And when he introduced themselves at some point to the Bledsoe family, he was like, "Well, I work for the Hammer." Assuming it's like a real person, not like Thor's hammer, Mjolnir or whatever.
Right.
And we're going full circle here, guys.
I was gonna say that's the second time that's been brought up.
Yep.
Yeah. Don't forget about this Tuxedo Mask, who was just brought up earlier, some hat man and a cape. But he said, Tim Taylor says, "I work for the Hammer, and the Hammer works for God." And in one of the other videos of the Bledsoe Said So podcast, Chris Bledsoe is talking to the NASA people. And they're like, "We don't know why they like you. We've been trying to contact them or interact with them forever. They don't want anything to do with us, but we know they like you." And they actually show themselves on the U.S. space station out in space as like 400-foot tall angels. We're talking full wings and medieval swords and stuff like that. That's how they appear to the crew. It's amazing stuff.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, my Mexican grandmother, she was somewhere like sitting, her butt on the curb and her feet in the gutter of some, Chicago street, about 100 years ago. And a truck was like barreling down the street. And then all of a sudden she felt like she was grabbed and then put in a safe space on the street. And when she looked around, there was no one there. Wow. There was no one there that put her back. Incredible. Now, my other grandma, my Italian grandma, last name is DeAngelis. If you know what that means, it means the angels in Italian. They were all in their gigantic apartment, like in an Italian neighborhood. And there was like 6 or 8. There was a central sort of like living room, and all of the entryways all had doors around them. And they were talking about God and talking about angels. And then when they mentioned angels, all like 7 or 8 doorknobs all wiggled at the exact same time, like turned, like. And then when all the children went to go look behind the doors, there was nobody there.
Wow.
So, yeah. Yeah,
That's amazing.
and this is 1920s or 1910s.
Right.
There's no way they had walkie-talkies to
Right.
to orchestrate this type
That's
thing.
awesome, man. I love that. Angel stories are awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, all right, guys. Thank you. But again, yeah, I had that egg-shaped UFO experience in my backyard.
Yep.
But
I love it. Thank you
all
for
right,
the thank you for the info with Chris Bledsoe and his son. I'm gonna look into him, man. I appreciate that.
yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing from the next caller.
Sweet,
All right,
man.
talk
Thank
to you
you.
guys later.